Right then, there is a lot of wrestling to talk about, so let's get to it, shall we? I'm John Rentham with my highlights and lowlights of New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Year's Golden Series for February 11th, 13th, 19th, and the finals that took place just a number of hours ago. Let me know your thoughts on this tour in the comments, please. I would like to quickly explain why I'm basically just taking the best and worst of this particular tour, human centipeding those things together and presenting them to you in one video. I don't have enough time to do individual reviews. And also, the February 7th, 15th, 16th, and 17th shows, while not bad, were just typical, and there isn't really anything noteworthy. They were just there to get people ring time and sort of advance the feuds and whatever, and just get us to when we got to the main matches, the grudge matches and the title matches, and they did spread them out over a number of shows. And when New Japan Pro Wrestling does things right, they get the emotion, the passion, the energy, just the drive to get people to love professional wrestling. I mean, my God, when they get things right, it's really fucking good. And there were some great goddamn moments on these various shows. And then there were some things that were absolute goddamn shit. That pretty much all, almost all those things involved House of Torture, which is goddamn wrestling death. It's just so fucking bad. But anyway, the February 7th card was just typical. So we go to February 11th, and here's the card, and then I'm going to get to the stuff, whether I liked it or didn't like it, but the stuff I really want to talk about. Hanma beat Oiwa with the Boston Crab. Kanemaru and Doki beat Hiromu and Bushi via roll-up, the most devastating maneuver in all of professional wrestling. Ishii, Goto, and Tenzan beat Evil, Yujiro, and Dick Togo, when basically Dick got pounded down, because Dick's always getting pounded down in New Japan Pro Wrestling ring. Taguchi, Makabe, Yano beat Taka, Taichi, and Minoru Suzuki when Taka submitted. And basically this is just to advance the Yano Suzuki KOPW that would end up being a dog cage death match. Don't worry, I'll get to that here in a bit. Okan beat Kojima with the Eliminator because they will not give up on sack of shit Okan, who is actually good in the ring. It's just a terrible gimmick. Absolutely terrible gimmick. Sonata, Naito, and Shingo beat Nagata, Okada, and Tanahashi but via referee stoppage when Nagata would not. He just passed out in the skull end. And then we get Tiger Mask beating Gato. Why did this go 15 minutes when 5 would have done? Or maybe, I don't know, not have Tiger Mask take more than a minute to beat fucking Gato in 2022. And then we get to Yo versus Sho. It will never be over, Sho Anderson. It will never be over. Look, these two fought at Wrestle Kingdom. They're going to continue to fight because as Roppongi 3K, the breakup, they're going to not grab their brush and put on a little makeup. This feud will never be over. They will just splatter the blood all over the table because they want to. But enough of that. Alright, I'm going to say it right now. Sho is a good wrestler. I'm glad that they're trying to feature him as a heel. This House of Torture stuff is wrestling death. That's going to be a recurring theme here. Yo did attack before the bell, but Sho threw a wrench in the plans because he's using the wrench. Because why wouldn't you just use a goddamn wrench? This is before the bell, though. Use the weapon as a young lion, and a heel Sho can work, but this House of Torture stuff sucks. And the work was fine enough. But then, of course, we get the House of Torture run-ins, and then we get Ishii and Goto running in. And then we get a belt shot and a shock arrow, 1, 2, 3. Not good. Not good. Even though both these guys can work, it was not good. But what was good is the main event. El Desperado, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, defending against Master Wato. I don't know what his gimmick is. I don't think that he even knows what his gimmick is. Wato can work. The look is ridiculous, but I even wrote down, how good of a magician is El Desperado? Can he make me care about Master Wato? Who, again, can work, but the gimmick is just not good. This is good stuff. This might possibly be on my favorite matches of the year list. I don't know if it's quite as good as Hiromu versus El Desperado at Wrestle Kingdom, so maybe not, but this is definitely something you need to watch. There were some, Despy is very good. Wato did some good stuff here as well. And we got chops, kicks, a nice back and forth. We did get, Wato did get that waddle, whatever they actually call it, that vice lock that he has, which, he looked like he was going to get close to being Despy, but alas, we got, after some knee targeting and everything, numero dos, and eventually Despy just rolled like a gator and just would not let him go, and Wato had to tap out. So there you go. That's the end of the February 11th event. Moving on to February 13th. So here's the card, and then I'm going to get to what I really want to talk about for just about a minute. Tenzan, Kojima, and Oiwa beat Vegeta, Nagata, and Hanma. Boston Crab, because of course, when the Young Lions are involved, Boston Crabs. Crabs all around. Everybody gets crabs when the Young Lions are involved. Worded badly. Yoshihashi, and Goto beat Dick Togo, Sho, and Yujiro. 5-star clutch. Okan beat Makabe. It was a painful match to watch. Shingo, Hiromu, and Bushi beat Doki, Kanemaru, and Taichi with a pumping bomber. Because Shingo has got to have a banner year here, even though he was the Iwgp heavyweight champion for about, I think it was pretty much from June of last year till Wrestle Kingdom of this year. Let's see if they actually give him another championship. Taguchi, Wado, and Yano beat Taka, Despi, and Suzuki. And then we get more dog cage bullshit. Tiger Mask beat ELP because we got a DQ thing. They're building this thing with ELP and Ishimori ever since it was discovered that ELP was using a loaded boot. Now he can't hit the super kick. Even though he's really skilled and he can hit the deadly stuff, nope, he just can't do it. I just can't do it. I got no place else to kick. And then Eagles beat Ishimori with a Ron Miller special. Here we go to Ishii versus Evil. Never open weight championship lumberjack match. And my fucking goodness, anytime Evil is on camera, I just want I want somebody to pull the feed. Just kill the feed. Evil looks like he's just going through the goddamn motions at this point. I don't mind they're giving him a push. But they take him out of they take him out of LIJ. Him getting on his own is one thing. Him being a heel is one thing, but let's put him in Bullet Club. And now let's make a subdivision of Bullet Club, House of Torture. Bullet Club basically at this point, and yes, I saw what happened on Impact's No Surrender. Spoiler, sorry if you haven't seen it. We had Jay White turn on Gorilla's Destiny, and now he's aligned, I believe, with Gallows and Anderson and Chris Bay. And I like dashing Chris Bay, but great. Let's have Bullet Club Hollywood, Bullet Club Black and White, Bullet Club Japan, and House of Torture. Look. You can't get any more blood out of this tournament. Bullet Club has basically been a husk of itself since at least 2019. And maybe even before that. I'm not saying that people can't. You guys can like it all you goddamn well want, but it's like anytime I see Bullet Club stuff, too sweet. That's all I gotta say. It's not for me. I've seen this stuff come and go. They knew when to get rid of the NWO, and WCW still hung on to it too goddamn long. The NWO did not last nearly as long as Bullet Club has, and you can say, oh, they're reinventing it, or they're trying to get all this interfaction stuff going on. Interfaction stuff only works when you actually give a shit about anybody involved, and the vast majority of people, it seems like a lot of people are sick of this. Now, there are some people that like it, and that's fine if you guys like it. If you guys like this stuff, great. I don't. And I know other people that don't. So there's going to be across the great divide, as Linkin Park once said. But, yeah, Dick Togo, Yujiro, Sho, Yoshihashi, Goto, Yo, and I think Ishii were out there as well. House of Torture and Chaos members, and it was stupid. It was fucking stupid. Of course it was bullshit, because of course it was going to be bullshit. Dick kept inserting himself where he wasn't wanted. It was abysmal. There was a good superplex spot that both sold. That was nice. But then Ishii looked like he might get the victory, but no, he wasn't going to get the victory. Everything is Evil 1, 2, 3. And they kind of were proving, Evil doesn't actually need these guys to win, because Evil is a terrific wrestler. There's nothing wrong with heels cheating, but when it becomes so repetitive, you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's not good storytelling. So we get Tetsuya Naito and Sonata. Just Sonata. He just needs one name. And, of course, when he comes out in the mask, I can't see a fucking thing, Sonata, presumably. And taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada, building the two respective title matches, U.S. title on the 19th, and IWGP Heavyweight on the 20th for the finals, Naito and Okada. How could that not be good? We'll find out here in a minute if it wasn't good. It was good. Of course it was fucking good. And this match might actually end up being on my favorite matches of the year list, because it was given 30-plus minutes, great storytelling, and it built and built and built. Who's going to gain the advantage? Who's, gonna have the doubt or whatever? Because you got two champions and you got two challengers here. So are you going to do a DQ? You did a DQ earlier. You can't really do that. You're not going to have interference. You're just going to have great storytelling, great selling by all four of these. And Tanahashi's knees are hanging on by a thread. I love Tana. This is retired at next year's Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, unless he really needs money or he just wants to keep doing this till his knees explode and he's unable to walk, I really want Tana to be able to enjoy his quality of life. He can't. That fucking spot that he did on Kenta at Wrestle Kingdom, that was scary. That was fucking scary, and I'm amazed that his knees aren't, that his knees just literally didn't explode Contra style on the goddamn. I'm not talking about Contra and MLW. I'm talking about Contra the video, whatever Contra video game you want to go with. It was great shit. It was great though. And eventually Destino on Tanahashi 1, 2, 3. I encourage you guys to check this out. 33 minutes. I can't possibly cover it that quickly, or, that well in a review like this. But definitely check that out. And Ishii versus Evil. Only if you want to see something really shit should you watch that. February 19th. So, a show that literally just happened about 24 hours ago. Or maybe 36, depending on how you are, doing the timing, because I don't know how to do it. I'm going to stop this song reference, I promise, but I can't get moving on. So, here's a rundown, the card rundown, the video package. We get Doki and Taka against Makabe and Fujita. Typical, and Doki taps out Fujita, as you would expect. The Doki Choki, Kevin. Why I made Kevin Kelly's impression of Gino Gambino sound like Emperor Palpatine. Unlimited power, yes. Why I made him sound like that, I don't know. Taichi and Suzuki took on Oiwa and Yano, and they had the dog cage bullshit there, and more on that here in a bit. Suzuki had cuffs. Certain fangirls and fanboys were all excited. And the cage is alive with the sound of... So, basically, Taichi beat Vegeta because he's a young lion. So, Yo and Ishii took on Dick and Show. The Dick Show, if you will. I'm sure you can find those in Japan. You can find a lot of stuff in Japan. Stuff that you probably would have never imagined and never want to imagine. And now it's wormed its way into your skull like it's wormed its way into mine. I mean, what do you expect? We get more Yo and Show. It will never be over, Show Anderson. Yo attacks Show and Ishii, and Yo are pounding Dick in the ring, and then Dick gets tied up for the win. Cool. Dick has to tap, and then he has to prolapse right there. Okan versus Hanma. Go back and watch this match if you want to see one of the worst modern-era New Japan singles matches. This was abysmal. Hanma can't go. Okan can only really work with somebody that can bounce off of him and get the best. Zack Sabre Jr., Sonata, wasn't great. But Zack Sabre Jr. probably got the best match out of him. There's something there with Okan's ability. It's just the gimmicks bullshit. It's like he's a genie vampire. And Hanma it looks like he's going to turn to dust if you breathe on him hard. This was 12 minutes of my life that I will never fucking get back. This is one of the worst matches of the year. I wrote down some matches that were the worst matches of the year, and I've kind of taken the gloves off when it's come to New Japan. I recognize the pandemic hit in 2020, and there were certain things they had to do, and they're trying to juice things up. But it's like they're creative, whoever the fuck it is. Gato and whoever the fuck else is booking this goddamn thing and putting this thing together, they've run out of steam. There's good stuff in New Japan, but the talents are succeeding despite the lack of creative, the lack of brain power, no attached brainstem, whatever. This was terrible. Not that I expected it to be good, but it was not good at all. LIJ without Sonata took on Okada, Tenzan, Kojima, and Nagata. Now, I respect all three of them, but I wondered which older guy is going to take the pin. It was Nagata. Blue Justice took the pin with the Last of the Dragons. Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask versus El Desperado. El Desperado and Kanemaru versus ELP and Taiji Ishimori versus Taguchi and Master Wato. Fatal 4-way match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. And whoever wins will be, another one of these teams wins, they will become the 69th IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. So naturally, Taguchi would want to do that. And Taguchi did that. Taguchi and Wato won. Because of course they did. This match, I will say, since it was sub 15 minutes, it wasn't dull. They did do the whole thing. ELP is like, I can't kick anymore. And then we got Ishimori getting upset at him. And then we got that later. On the 20th, there was a nice spot where Eagles sent ELP and everybody with a Hurricanrana outside. That popped the crowd. There was some good stuff. Very good stuff here. Didn't last long. And we get the number 9. That was number 9. Good old Side Hackers. Was it Side Hackers or Hellcats? Was it Hellcat? I can't remember. It was one of those earlier MSTs. 69th IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Taguchi and Master Wato. So congratulations, Master Wato. Maybe Taguchi can make you interesting. Not likely. Yoshihashi and Goto took on Evil and Yujiro. IWGP Tag Team Championship match. Hey, the House of Torture attacks the champs during their entrance, and I'm out. I'm out. I'm fucking out. God damn it. Seriously. Whoever keeps booking this shit deserves to be slapped across the face with a goddamn brick, because this is abysmal. This is abysmal programming. It's the same bullshit. Honestly, it makes me... This is why I didn't even want to pay attention to much of what was going on in New Japan. This is why I decided to do this review like this, because I would have gone nuts doing individual videos. This House of Torture stuff's terrible, and unfortunately with the New Japan Cup announcement, I'm afraid we're going to get a lot of House of Torture bullshit. Eventually, Yoshihashi and Goto do get the victory to retain the championships, so they're making me root for Yoshihashi being a tag team champion again. Gato, you son of a bitch. So anyway, Sanada took on Tanahashi in a U.S. Championship match that was good. Of course it was good. Sanada had better working knees, which is saying something, because Sanada, every time he does the Muda moonsault and lands on his feet, he's hurting. And Muda probably could tell him, hey, I've had knee replacements. That's why I don't do the moonsault anymore. I don't think he would say it exactly like that. He'd probably say it in Japanese, even though Muda does speak English, and Sanada speaks some English. But still, he would probably tell him, stop doing that. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Stop. Don't do this anymore. Of course it was good. Tana's knees are going to just turn to powder at some point. Like powdered milk. And there was a near count out after a post spot or whatever. Oh no, Tana's going to lose. No, he's not going to lose. They go for each other's knees. There was an aces high to the floor. Tana, I think, was saying, ow. I think that's exactly what went through his head. Ow, ace. Dragon screws in the ropes. Dragon screws while Sanada staring up at the spotlight. And we get a skull end later. Moonsault stopped by Tana's bad knees, because Tana will not learn a goddamn lesson, no matter how much it's taught to him that he shouldn't use his knees like that. And then we get more move trading. We get a sling blade for two. Aces high, but a roll through, a TKO. The moonsault to the back hits, but then the other one misses. It looks like Tana's going to get the victory. He does a straight jacket German. High fly flow, but no. Sanada gets the bridge pin. 1, 2, 3. Sanada wins his first singles gold in New Japan. Big deal. Sanada, see you next time. I mean, he does, a bit more of a promo there. Good for Sanada. When Sanada turns it on, he can be really good, and I wish we would get a motivated Sanada more often. This is good, though. This was a good way to end it. Maybe, so the Fatal 4-Way match and this were the highlights of that. And then you had the IWGP Tag Team Championship that was not a highlight, mainly because they made me cheer for Yoshihashi, you fuck Gato, and also Hanma and Great Okan. Again, you fuck Gato. You fucking suck. God, you fuck. Anyway, let's get to the finals. Most recent show. Usually how the finals works. It's usually the most recent show. It'd be hard to do the finals and work backwards. It's not how tournaments work either. Ishimori, ELP, and Jado took on Eagles, Tiger Mask, and Vegeta. Well, Vegeta got pinned because he's a young lion, but we're getting Bullet Club tension and everything, because that's what we fucking need. Bullet Club tension with a faction that's well past the shelf life. Ishimori, by the way, has really cool masks, I do want to say. Like, that's really cool stuff. So, Taichi and Doki took on Ishii and Oiwa got hit with the dangerous backdrop after a few minutes. I will say that Vegeta and Oiwa are doing pretty well and improving dramatically bit by bit. Or, even match by match. Like, they're just doing some great stuff. Like, even just, from a month ago, you can see the improvement. Wado and Taguchi took on Kanemaru and Despy. This is more to get Kanemaru and Despy out of IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship contention. Easy for me to say. God, that's a mouthful. Than it was to do anything else. Kanemaru took the pin. Because, of course, he fucking did. Took it via roll-up. The most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling. Okan and Kojima had another match. Same as it ever was. The leader of Bread Club could only do so much to try and get sack of shit Okan to do something. Eliminator for 3. And then we actually had the New Japan Cup announcement. I'm going to get to that in a minute. LIJ minus Naito, who's in the main event, took on Tanahashi, Makabe, Hanma, and Nagata. Last of the Dragons on Hanma. So, in a few hours from now, as I'm recording this, New Japan is going to do a press conference, and I think they're going to announce the entire field for the New Japan Cup tournament. And champions and junior heavyweights are going to be involved in everything. And you're thinking, that's a lot of people. How are they going to have that many slots? They're going to have 48 people in this tournament. They're probably going to give the champions a bye. And then they're going to have everybody else compete. Because I'm trying to figure that out, because if they did brackets of 12, you would go from 12 to 6 to 3, and then you would go to, and then you would, what? You're going to have 1.5 people there. That half of the wrestlers going to be in a lot of pain trying to compete there. So yeah, they're probably going to give the champions a bye and stuff like that, and then they're going to have 8, and then they're going to go to 4, and then the champions are going to face those people and stuff like that. That's probably what it is. You heard it here first, or you didn't. I don't fucking care. 48 people's a lot. Maybe they're going to get people from Noah. Maybe they're going to fly people in from Saturn. Maybe they're going to get people from the New Japan Strong brand, since it seems like they're going to be done taping here soon. By the way, check out the most recent New Japan Strong episodes if you want, episodes 77, 78, and 79. If you want to see me in the front row, but more importantly, also see my gorgeous friend Roxy, but also get to see, how loud a Seattle crowd can get. So, yeah, 48 people. I will be doing my predictions probably sometime later this week, once that's announced. And also the anniversary show is going to be on March 1st, so I'll probably do a review of that. Also want to say the New Japan Cup reviews will be doubled, at least, maybe tripled. It just depends. March is going to be a busy month as far as work and everything, and I got some other stuff going on. I got other content I'm going to do, so I'm going to have to limit, how many videos I put out. So basically just hodgepodge a few of them like this. Suzuki versus Yano in a KOPW 2022 Dog Cage Death Match. I know Suzuki's done goofy shit. A lot of people have done goofy shit. And I'm sure that they thought that this was a good idea. It wasn't. There was a leash, there was cuffs, there was a big old dog cage, and Suzuki didn't do it for The Rock, Kevin. He did it for the KOPW, Chris Charlton said, when Suzuki tried to run Yano over with the cage and actually hit him with it. He was in a cage-like structure at one point. Kevin Kelly either taking a shot at Michael Cole, or Kevin Kelly had Vince's brainworms infest his ears and nesting. They're both cuffed in the cage. We get a rope leash. Well, actually, they're both cuffed. They're both cuffed like this. But that just makes Suzuki stronger, because then he could just hit you like this. And Suzuki hitting you normally is bad. Yano then ended up latching Suzuki in the cage after they were both there. And since Suzuki was latched there, a young lion, I think Fujita got locked in there. And then Yano locked the cage to win. And that is Suzuki's last match in New Japan while he goes out for another U.S. sojourn. Why? Because they're sending him pretty much out to do all this stuff because he's going to be retiring soon. I don't know how you come back from something like this. I know he's done goofy shit before, but goddamn, this was stupid. Not that I expected it to be really great, but this KOPW thing, I was worried when they announced it, and nothing has basically swayed me from not being worried that, oh yeah, it was a bad idea. Really, really bad. Evil Yujiro and Sho took on Goto, Yoshihashi, and Yo. Never openweight 6-man championship. And anytime House of Torture basically breeze on New Japan programming, it's embarrassing to professional wrestling. The whole Bullet Club House of Torture thing is shit. I already said it. Let's just move on from it and say the match wasn't good. Dick was inside again, and Evil Yujiro and Sho retained the never openweight 6-man championships. Whatever. Naito and Okada had a great Iwgp heavyweight championship match, because how could it not be good? It's Naito with knees that are about this close to him basically being in a goddamn wheelchair. I love Naito. He ain't got a lot of time left. He's turning 40 this year, and his knees are 50. And Naito is great. He's going to be in the Makabe role in 2 years, if he still decides to stick around. Now, he needs to vary up what he does. He needs to just try and get a little bit more ground-based, because him trying to do anything aerial with how he moves now, it's not good. Okada, of course he's great. Okada was a bit more heelish. The money clip thing ain't really working. Naito gets his knee targeted. Naito targets Okada's neck. Very good psychology. We get the Esperanza off the ropes. And then we get a trap pin for 2. Oh no, Okada almost stole it. Destino 1, I guess you could call it. And that was just for 2, and we get some more great stuff from Okada and Naito as they go back and forth. Okada's got wrist control, hits a tombstone, but then we get a twist out, whatever the fuck you want to call it, by Naito. Okada hits a Destino, hits the landslide, it brings him down, and then we get the Rainmaker 1, 2, 3. There you go. Okada retains, talks about the anniversary show, hopes that Antonio Inoki will be able to attend, and talks about facing El Desperado, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, in the main event, since it's always Junior Heavyweight and Heavyweight Champion in the main event in the anniversary show. And then talks to New Japan Cup, being a champion, he hopes to win the whole thing, and there we go. And Hokkaido, thank you very much, and there we go. So yeah, that's 4 wrestling shows, summed up in less than 30 minutes. I think that's pretty good, even though I had to dump on House of Torture and Bullet Club a little bit more, but if they're going to keep being bullshit, then I'm going to keep dumping on them. That being said, there were some great peaks to the show, and I love me some great Japanese peaks. On that note, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.